I hate it. It's the worst.
It's harder. It's harder.
Democrats and Republicans don't agree on much.
Well, every time I speak, it keeps going down. If I had glasses on, they'd be fogging up right now.
But they actually see eye to eye on this.
You can't get a sense of, like, are you smiling? Are you upset?
We're still making eye contact, but it's, you know, it just doesn't feel right.
I'm gonna give you a chance, we can take it off now. How does it feel to take this off?
No, we are, yeah.
And be able to connect a little more face to face?
Yes, a lot better. A lot better, yes.
That personal connection makes a difference.
But this is 2020. Nothing's easy. And that includes campaigning amid COVID.
Basically upended political campaigning as we know it. It's a lot harder for candidates to make a name for themselves and get known to voters if they can't actually meet them face to face.
So take a deep breath. We're gonna get through this together. This is Politicking in a Pandemic.
I'm ready to go live. Inhale. And as you exhale, let everything go.
Jackie Gordon never thought the road to Congress would run through her backyard.
Not a bad day at the office. This is wonderful.
But when she had to stop knocking on voters' doors, this former combat vet turned to her training as a yoga instructor to connect instead.
It was helping me deal with being sequestered at home. And so it was just natural for me to offer it to them. And the first session, we had 20 people sign up. And it just continued to grow and grow. And the largest session, we had over 100 people.
Being creative and being flexible are the only ways these days for this political newcomer, a Democrat, to try and reach the voters she needs to win New York's 2nd congressional seat. It's a district that spans much of Long Island's southern suburbs. And even though it's socially progressive, the seat's long been held by popular Republican Peter King, a 14-term incumbent who decided not to run again this year.
Thank you so much already for all the help that you have given to me.
But campaigning amid coronavirus hasn't been any easier for Gordon's opponent.
I'm Andrew Garbarino, and I'm the Republican nominee for New York's 2nd congressional district. It's going well. We got good poll results the other day, so that looks good.
He served his community as state assemblyman for the last 8 years.
My father grew up here. My grandfather grew up here. I'm 3rd generation Long Island. Being able to go down to DC and pay this community back for staying with me, for sticking with me, it'd be probably the greatest achievement of my life.
But everything he's learned about going and earning voters' trust has been thrown out the door by the pandemic.
You go knock on somebody's door, they're more likely, they'll come out and throw water on you.
He's adapted by running local PPE drives.
It's a different world.
And embracing teleconferences.
It's that way for everybody.
Tele-fundraising.
But it's not what I'm used to.
Tele-everything.
I love doing my Zoom calls with a button-down shirt and gym shorts on. It's great.
But the truth is, it's hard to introduce yourself and explain your passions from a social distance. It's a reality candidates all over the country are facing, from our local communities all the way up to the race for the White House.
Thank you so much.
Really, you know I mean this. This is
I know I do.
You have to be nimble, you have to be creative, you have to be willing to go the extra mile and think outside the box.
We are technology superstars.
So today we're going to create a tuna melt.
Campaign experts say social media creativity goes a long way. But authenticity matters too, just as much as it does when campaigning in person.
I'm Jean Sinsdak. I'm the Associate Director at the Center for American Women in Politics at Rutgers University. I think the candidates who have done very well this cycle so far are the ones that have just risen to the occasion, that have pivoted beautifully to virtual campaigns without a second thought, who have, some of them probably were already very adept at using technology to their advantage.
The Center for American Women in Politics helps coach candidates from all parties on how to get their names out there. But coronavirus concerns have all but killed their typical tools: door knocking, cocktail hours, and handing out campaign literature.
People don't necessarily want random pieces of paper in their mailbox.
It's also stymied fundraising. It's hard to twist arms when you can't shake hands.
It's almost impossible to run for Congress these days without raising millions of dollars, unfortunately.
And challengers aren't finding it easy to get attention when coronavirus dominates each day's headlines.
If you want to have a press conference about potholes, Probably no one's going to show up about that.
It all adds up to massive advantages for incumbents, meaning despite 2020's tsunami of unpredictability, we may get, politically, more of the status quo.
The chair will count for a quorum.
While it's not impossible for newcomers, as proven by Jamal Bowman's primary upset of longtime New York Congressman Elliot Engel, experts just don't expect a lot of it in the local races that most directly affect our neighborhoods, our parks, our police. There is still one traditional tool candidates can count on, even in Corona times.
Yard signs are still very effective.
In this race, it's going to be more important, I think, than normal.
It's nostalgic, but it works. You know, it gets people excited. It lets people know what's happening. They want people to know that they support Team Gordon.
But all of a sudden, they see their neighbor put a Garbarino sign on their front lawn. They say, well, I know my neighbor. They're a smart person, you know, they're not a jerk. If they're willing to support this guy, you know, maybe I should too.
Because like so many other things in life, local elections are still about personal connections, even in an age where we're always having to put several yards between us.